স্টুডেন্টস, আজিৰ ভিডিঅ'ত আমি আলোচনা কৰিম 10ম শ্ৰেণীৰ ক্লাছ 10ৰ ছ'চিয়েল সায়েন্সৰ জিঅ'গ্ৰাফি সেক্টৰৰ ফাৰ্ষ্ট চেপ্টাৰ ইকোনমিক জিঅ'গ্ৰাফি সাবজেক্ট মেটাৰ এণ্ড ৰিসোৰ্স। ইংলিছ মিডিয়ামৰ যিসকল ল'ৰা ছোৱালী আছে এই ভিডিঅ'টি তোমালোকৰ কাৰণে তোমালোক সকলোৱে ভালকৈ চাবা, কুৱেশ্যন এনসাৰ কেইটা লিখিবা আৰু যদি ইয়াৰ PDF লাগে তেতিয়াহ'লে তোমালোকে কমেণ্টত জনাবা, মই তোমালোকক PDFৰ লিংক দি দিম, ডাউনলোড কৰি ল'ব পাৰিবা। এতিয়া বলা ভিডিঅ'টি আৰম্ভ কৰোঁ। তাৰ আগতে যদি কোনোবাই চেনেলটো এতিয়ালৈকে ছাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰা নাই, চেনেলটো ছাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰি দিয়া। ফার্স্ট কুৱেশ্যন দিয়া হৈছে, হোয়াট ইজ ইকোনমিক জিওগ্রাফি, হোয়াট ইজ ইটস মেইন সাবজেক্ট ম্যাটার, মেনশন দ্য ইম্পর্টেন্ট ব্রাঞ্চেস অফ ইকোনমিক জিওগ্রাফি। ইয়াৰ এনসাৰ হ'ব, দ্য ব্রাঞ্চ অফ জিওগ্রাফি হুইচ স্টাডিজ দ্য হিউম্যান এক্টিভিটিজ in relation to the production, distribution, consumption and exchange of resources in a given space and time is known as economic geography. The main important branches of economic geography are as follows: agricultural geography, industrial geography, geography of resources, transport geography, geography of marketing, geography of planning and development, and geography of tourism. Question number 2, write in brief about the scope of economic geography. Answer, the economic geography studies the types of economic activities and distribution of the economic activities and the factors that affect and influence them. The scope of economic geography deals with questions like where is the economic activity located, what are the characteristics of the economic activity, to what factors are the economic activity related, why is the economic activity located where it is, would it not better if located elsewhere. The traditional form of economic geography deals with the first three questions and the modern economic geography deals with the latter questions. Question number 3, what do you mean by economic activities of man? What are such economic activities? Answer, according to the father of economic geography, George Chisholm, the main aim of the economic geography is understanding the development of economic activities of a given place which are result of the economic activities that are performed by humans. The works that a man performs to earn money, riches, comforts of life through the use of limited and finite resources is known as economic activities of a man. The main economic activities of a man are as follows. Number 1, primary occupations. The activities through which man uses the resources from the nature through activities like fishing, mining, agriculture, etc. are called primary occupations. Number 2, secondary occupations. The human activities that include activities of production of useful commodities from the resources that are acquired from the resources of the nature are known as secondary occupations. Number 3, tertiary occupations. The human activities through which the commodities produced by humans through the use of primary and secondary activities for consumption are known as a tertiary occupations. Transport, communication, marketing, wholesale or retail selling, tourism, etc. 4, quaternary occupations. The activities through which the primary and secondary activities are easily effectively and productively reached to the consumers are known as quaternary occupations. Bank or other financial institutions, publicity, media, administration, education and research, etc. Question number 4. Write briefly about the subject matter of the important branches of economic geography. Answer. The human activities are varied, thus the subject matters or branches of economic geography are also different and wide-ranging. The branches are as follows. Number 1. Agricultural geography. It is an important branch and is associated with agriculture activities. Types of agriculture, distributions of agriculture activities, crops production, etc. Theories related to agricultural activities are studied. Number 2. Industrial geography. The economic and various factors attached with the establishment of the industry. Types of industry and geographical distribution, production of goods, theories of industries, marketing and export, import of industrial produces are studied. Number 3. Geography of resources. Different types of resources, regional distribution of resources, the factors related to the exploration, production of resources, relationship between resource and development, conservation and management of resources are studied. Number 4. Transport geography. Types of transport system and factors associated with it. Role of transport on resources distribution, role of transport in movement and economic activities of man towards economic development, agricultural development, etc. are studied. 5. Geography of marketing. The requirement of markets, types of markets, distribution of markets, the related theories, etc. are studied. Number 7. Geography of planning and development. The factors associated with economic development, planning, strategies, sustainable development, regional and resource-based development process, etc. are studied. Number 7. Geography of tourism. The factors related to tourism, types of tourism, development and planning process of tourism system are studied. Question number 5. Why resource geography is known as an important branch of economic geography? Answer. Different types of resources, regional distribution of resources, the factors related to the exploration, production of resources, relationship between resource and development, conservation and management of resources are studied. The development of a country is very much dependent on the availability and quality of the resources, as every development process is completely dependent on the resources and environment. Question number 6. What is meant by resource? Mention its main characteristics. All the components which are available for the human use and subsistence and provided by the natural and human environment are known as the resources. Air, water, sunlight, soil, plant, animals, fruits, minerals, etc., which are found in the natural environment are resources. According to Zimmerman, any substance becomes resource when it has two properties: functionality and utility. These two characteristics assist in utilization resource and helps in human welfare and develops the growth of the society and economy. Question number 7. Resource is dynamic. Explain. Answer. Resources are referred to be as dynamic in nature as their characteristics change with time and use. A resource available to man can be useless or harmful at present but change into productive and progressive in future. With passage of time, a commodity which remains unexplored due to the requirement and technology used by humans changes into resource. For example, water or hydropower abundant in nature was not used for generation for electricity in past, but with the advancement of technology it has become a resource. Thus resources are adaptable or dynamic. Question number 8. Briefly discuss about the necessities of resources with examples. Answer. The resources are an integral part of human development and their availability is linked with the human civilization. Resources are of two types, natural resources and man-made resources. Natural resources like air, water, land, sunlight, forest are distributed on the earth. Humans have utilized these resources with their intellect, knowledge and wisdom and met not only the basic requirements of food, housing and clothes but also other requirements for developing living conditions. The man-made resources such as technology, housing, roads, industries, etc. have enhanced the living conditions of humans. Question number 9. Write in brief about the relationship between resource and man. মানুহ আৰু বিজ্ঞান প্ৰযুক্তিৰ মাজৰ সম্পৰ্ক সবিস্তাৰে আলোচনা কৰা. Answer. Man is the creator of resources. They have created resources and they are also consumers also. The natural resources which are available in the environment are utilized by humans for their development. The raw materials which are found in the nature like water, soil, air, sunlight are changed into valuable renewable resources by men with expertise of education and technology. A number of new and modern resources have been invented and utilized. Man has also produced resources like automobiles, industries, schools, food items, medicine, etc. for their own betterment and development. The scarcity of many natural resources and raw materials for industries have not stopped humans from developing. Countries like Japan, Switzerland, Taiwan, Singapore, South Korea, etc. have developed immensely through the judicious use of natural resources, and human resources. Question number 10. Briefly discuss about the relationship between resource and science and technology. সম্পদ আৰু বিজ্ঞান প্ৰযুক্তিৰ মাজৰ সম্পৰ্ক তোমালোকক এটক বিস্তাৰিতভাৱে বৰ্ণনা কৰিব দিছে. আগৰ কুৱেশ্যনটোত সম্পদ আৰু মানুহৰ মাজৰ সম্পৰ্ক ক'বলৈ দিছিল. Answer. According to the famous economist, any item can become a resource when it has two functionality and utility. Resource has a close relation with the development of humans. Resources are formed through the interaction of human nature, science and technology. Humans are connected with resources in two ways, as producer of resources and consumer of resources. The commodities which are living in nature have been transformed into resource as per the requirements of humans with the help of their intelligence and expertise. Humans have, with the knowledge of science and technology, have tamed the energy of rivers and wind and transformed into hydropower and windmills to meet their requirements. With the knowledge of technology, many new resources have been created like industries, agro-farm equipments, automobiles, etc. by humans themselves for their own consumption. Thus, resources are connected with science and technology. Question number 11. Write about classification of resources with example. সম্পদৰ শ্ৰেণী বিভাজন কৰিব লাগে উদাহৰণ সহ। Answer. The commodities which are required for the fulfillment of man's needs like food, shelter, clothing and many other requirements for the improvement in the living conditions of men are known as resources. The air, water, sun rays, soil, plants, fruits, minerals, etc. found on the earth are all essentials to man. To men are resources. Resources are also created with the help of technology and science. Resources can be classified into many groups. Natural resources: sunshine, air, water, soil, plants, animals, minerals, rivers, etc., which are found in nature, and after their formation they become distributed on the earth as a natural process are known as natural resources. The essential resources are present on the earth in solid, liquid and gaseous state. Natural resources are used as raw materials for producing many commodities. Coal, minerals, natural gas are natural resources which are used as source of energy. Man-made and human resources. Commodities which are produced from the raw materials found in the nature through human efforts are known as man-made resources. Chemical fertilizer, insecticides, soap, plastic, synthetic rubber, wax, etc. Different types of food items, clothes from cotton, medicine, wood, house construction materials, etc. are obtained from plants and changed into resources by a man's skill, education and technology. Biotic resources. Resources which have life depending on their physical composition are called biotic resources. Examples: plants, animals, fishes, crops, etc. are living resources and biotic resources. Abiotic resources. Resources which do not have any life are called abiotic resources. Examples: coal, rock, water, air, minerals, soil, etc. are abiotic resources. Renewable resources. The resources which are present on the earth and do not get exhausted after use are called as renewable or inexhaustible resources. These resources come to life on earth easily and some are present on earth constantly. Sunshine, air, water, plants, animals, human beings, crops, etc. are all renewable resources. Non-renewable resources. Resources which get completely exhausted after use and cannot be regenerated again easily are called as known as non-renewable or exhaustible resources. Example: coal, mineral, oil, natural gas, etc. These resources once used get exhausted completely and takes million years to be replenished. Individual resources. The resources which are possession of individual man, or for example land, household properties and self attributes like good character, education, working skill, etc. are known as individual or personal resources. National resources. Resources like transport networks, land, rivers, bridges, wildlife sanctuaries, plants and animals present in forest, educational institutions, administrative systems, government, look, etc. are looked after by the government, and the government is responsible to provide all these resources to the citizens. These resources are called as national resources. International resources. Resources that belong to all the countries and the resources possessively the whole world, such as oceans and seas and their mineral and biotic resources, atmosphere, forests, etc., are together known as international resources. All these resources are used for the benefit and welfare of the mankind. The United Nations organization is responsible for the management of these resources. They took after the utilization and the management as well as exploitation of these resources. Question number 12. What is meant by natural resource? Write briefly with examples. Natural resources like sunshine, air, water, soil, plants, animals, minerals, rivers, etc., which are found in nature, and after their formation they become distributed on the earth as a natural process, are known as natural resources. These natural resources are present on the earth in solid, liquid and gaseous state. Natural resources are used as raw materials for producing many commodities. Coal, minerals, natural gas are natural resources which are used as sources of energy. Question number 13. What is man-made resource? Write in brief about its use with examples. Answer. Hobo. Man-made resources, commodities which are produced from the raw materials found in the nature through human efforts, are known as man-made resources. Chemical fertilizer, insecticides, soap, plastic, synthetic rubber, house construction materials, etc. are obtained from plant and changed into resources by men with skill, education and technology. Question number 14. What are the differences between renewable and non-renewable resources? Describe briefly with examples. Answer. Renewable resources. The resources which are present on the earth and do not get exhausted after use are called as renewable or inexhaustible resources. These resources come to life on earth easily, and some are present on earth constantly. Sunshine, air, water, plants, animals, human beings, crops, etc. are all renewable resources. Non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources which get completely exhausted after use and cannot be regenerated again easily are called as non-renewable or exhaustible resources. Examples: coal, mineral, oil, minerals, natural gas, etc. These resources once used get exhausted completely and takes million years to be replenished. Question number 15. What is meant by conservation of resources? What is its necessity? Answer. The methods or act of complete utilization of any resource without destruction and misuse is known as conservation of resources. Natural resources are not spread in uniform pattern on the surface of the earth. These natural resources are also exhaustible and are present in limited quantity. The natural resources like coal, petroleum is used in huge quantity as the demands have increased as the population has increased. The main goal of conservation is to overcome the serious situation where the natural resources are completely exhausted due to population exploitation, so that the natural resources can be utilized for a long time. The resource conservation aims to collect and use the necessary resources from the nature using the resources with preservation. Example: the conservation of mineral oil means the act of exploitation of mineral oil from the nature without any wastage and its proper use for long time for human benefit. The resource conservation is associated more with renewable resources, but the conservation applies to all resources. For example, forests which are renewable resource are destroyed without thought, which have resulted in decline in the environmental balance. Many plans and projects have been planned for projects. Extensive use of fertilizers, mineral oil, coal, etc. have increased the severe increase in population and global warming. Thus, the need of taking necessary steps for resource conservation along with the economical use of resources is required, which is main object of conservation of resources. Write in brief about the methods of resource conservation. সম্পদ সংৰক্ষণৰ পদ্ধতিসমূহ আলোচনা কৰিব লাগে. Answer: the resource conservation is successfully possible when we take carefully organized steps for its preservation and economic use. Thus, certain programs are required to be executed for successful implementation of conservation of resources. Answer: search for alternative resources. It is necessary to explore and find out alternative resources for which extensive research and survey is required. Synthetic fiber in place of cotton fiber, synthetic rubber in place of natural rubber are such alternative resources. The need to reduce the use of coal, mineral or oil, etc. has initiated the use of solar energy, hydroelectricity, organic energy. Number 2, recycling. The reduction of use of raw materials with limited reserve is required, as well as there is need to conserve the nature from pollution. Thus, the concept of recycling has been initiated. The recycling of the old polythene bag, plastic bag, plastic bottle, paper, etc. The use of raw materials for these products can be controlled. Number 3, innovation. Study and research are required to develop innovations which can convert the resources from nature into usable forms, which help in checking the misuse of raw materials and increase the production of resources, thus of organic fertilizer is popularized in search of chemical fertilizers. 4. Waste control. By taking measures to check production of waste materials through recycling and reuse and converting raw materials to useful resources, a good number of resources can be saved. Example, if the waste materials of wood and bamboo generated in a paper mill are converted into organic or chemical substances, the pressure on natural resources will reduce. Number 5. Explanation of knowledge. ইয়াৰ পৰা তোমালোকে যিকোনো চাৰিটা শিকিবা, বহুত কেইটা কিতাপত দিয়া আছে। Question number 17. Write in brief about the organizations associated with resource conservation and their role. Answer. With the increase in population and growing problems of environment like global warming, soil erosion, deforestation, pollution, melting of ice, etc., there is depletion of resources and imbalance in the nature. All these situations have made it necessary that conservation steps to be taken with immediate effect. Thus, many organizations are taking efforts to protect the environment and conserve the natural resources. A number of governmental and non-governmental agencies and organizations have been formed at international, national, regional and local levels for this work. International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, under United Nations Organization is formed. IUCN was formed in the year 1948 with the guidance of British biologist Julian Huxley, who was the founder director general of UNESCO. The main aim of the organization is to carry out study and research on conservation of global natural environment and natural resources including biodiversity and to undertake correct measures. The other international organizations like WWF for Nature and World Conservation Monitoring Center have been also established. These organizations are working for conservation of natural environment along with giving special emphasis on certain specific species of plant and animal species. In India also the government has taken efforts to conserve the nature and all the species. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has been formed in India. Under this ministry, an autonomous institute named Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education was formed in 1986. Many non-governmental organizations like Center for Science and Environment, Greenpeace India, Wildlife Trust of India, etc. are working for protection of the environment. In Assam, also a number of non-governmental organizations like Assam Science Society, Aranyok, etc. are actively participating in all environmental production plans. তাৰপিছত তোমালোকক শৰ্ট নোট দিয়া হৈছে। শৰ্ট নোটখিনি ইয়াত আছে, তোমালোকে চাই যাবা। শৰ্ট নোটখিনি কৰি দিয়া হৈছে। ভিডিঅ'টো বহুত দীঘলীয়া হৈ গ'ল, গতিকে গোটেইখিনি আৰু পঢ়াটো সম্ভৱ নহয়। এই শৰ্ট নোটবিলাক ইয়াত আছে তোমালোকে বহুত ভালকৈ পঢ়িব লাগিব আৰু পঢ়িলে তোমালোকে নম্বৰ পাবা এইটো চাবা ভালকৈ একেবাৰে প্ৰতিটোৰে শৰ্ট নোট দিয়া আছে তাৰপিছত আছে চুজ দ্য কাৰেক্ট এনসাৰ শুদ্ধ উত্তৰটো বাছি উলিয়াব লাগে কোনটো শুদ্ধ কোনটো ভুল উদাহৰণস্বৰূপ হৈছে হুইচ অফ দ্য ফলোইং ইজ ম্যান মেড ৰিসোৰ্স ইয়াত অপশন কেইটামান দিয়া হৈছে তাৰে শুদ্ধ অপশন কোনটো কমেন্ট কৰিবা আৰু ইয়াৰ শুদ্ধ কোনটো হ'ব পাৰে সম্পূৰ্ণ শুদ্ধ সেইটো তোমালোকক ইয়াৰ শেষত দিয়া হৈছে এয়া ইয়াত দিয়া হৈছে গতিকে সকলোৱে ভালকৈ চাবা আৰু কোৱেশ্চন এনসাৰবিলাক লিখি লৈ তোমালোকে শিকিবা আজিৰ ভিডিঅ'ত ইমানখিনি আকৌ লগ পাম ধন্যবাদ